Are we live? Are we live? It's live. Okay, great. So we're live. So this is 8 minutes in the past.
We're like Bill O'Reilly live.
Right. We just have a little delay. This is kind of like the whole MTV controversy thing. So instead of a 8-second delay, we're an 8-minute delay. Hey, everyone, welcome and appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry for being late today. We had some sound technical difficulties and some visual technical difficulties. We had a whole new format set up, and we had some goofiness occur. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to launch that. However, I think, Tony, you and I will try to do a good job sticking to that topic list we had with the times, and we'll play that out. Unfortunately, we don't have that on the screen today. We will figure out what to do for next week.
I'm glad because I have some notes that I took.
Perfect. Well, it's funny.
I got over based on that.
Yes, and I've got my stuff right here, and I got my tablet for some notes for specific discussion pieces, so I'm excited about that. But for those tuned in, thank you as always. Tony and I are grateful for your support. Please don't forget to hit the smash the like button, and subscribe to our show. Just crush it is what we're looking for you to do. And thank you for taking time out today. We promise to have some solid content today. We're going to be discussing some things on a video that Tony and I put out there regarding the whole sales process and communication. We're going to have some time to talk about the advantage space, and preparing for that today. We're going to talk about a few other things regarding, field training. And we're also going to take some time out and share a story about a dear friend and take a moment out to recognize them. And we'll obviously have a new spot on our show called Corrections. And we're going to have Mr. Nathan Elkind as our producer to come on and fact check things specifically that Tony says, more so than me, because everything I say doesn't need any fact checking at all. Okay? And then we'll wrap up for the show. But that all being said, Tony, hello, sir. Good morning. I appreciate you. How's your morning been?
My morning is fantastic, man. It's it's a beautiful day here in Austin, regardless of the drizzling rain and the overcast. Yes, I'm loving it. Feels great outside. I'm here and ready to make it rock and roll. I wanted to say something, though, that made me think, because I'm a little bit jealous of you and your window routine with your dry erase markers.
Yes.
Are those just regular dry erase markers?
Yeah, just regular dry erase markers. Yes, sir.
Okay, and they obviously don't stain your window in any form or fashion.
No, buddy, what happens is if it's there for several days, you just want to spray Windex and it comes right off.
Because I now have. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to make mention, because it's weird, right? It's a dry erase marker, but it's funny. And I think you know what it is? It's the sun, right? It's sitting there on the glass, and the sun hits on it, so it just kind of dries on there some. So if you're working, it comes right off with the dry eraser. But if you let it sit for a few days, I'd get some Windex. That's all. Yeah,
get some
not
Windex,
a problem at all.
Because I now have a lot of window space in my office. So
awesome. Yeah.
When I was up there hanging out with you this last weekend, it made me think of some ways I can utilize my window space.
Yeah. And then yesterday I sent you that text with my notes on the window.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, 100%. It's a notepad. Yeah, 100%. That's funny. Well, I just want you to know, just for our viewers to know this as well, those that have tuned in, again, sorry for us starting late today. We're going to create our show to where we're going to have topics to discuss, and we're going to have a timeline for them. And you'll see the topics on the side, and there's going to be a time. Again, we had that set up today. Something did not plan out, so that'll definitely be on for next week, God willing. But what we had was we had our open today. That was going to be a couple minutes long. And then we were going to catch up on last week and talk about Tony's visit, and we were going to take about 5 minutes to do so. We're kind of over that already, but you mentioned it already. You were here last week. We got to spend some time together on a social and professional level, and then we were able to do that training that we released yesterday, which is definitely kicked off well, so I'm excited about that. But, sir, let's talk about last week a little bit and you coming into town. First of all, thank you. We had a good time. Dinner was great with you and your wife and Jamie and Bridget, so that was good for the 6 of us to go out.
100%. That was a riot.
And you got to spend a little bit of time in Tulsa on Sunday with your wife?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went out to that place called that y'all recommended, the Gathering Place.
Yes,
which
the Gathering Place.
Big outdoor park you can walk around and enjoy. It was really, number one, it was a gorgeous day that day.
Yes.
Right? It couldn't have been a better day to go to a place and gather with a bunch of other nice folks. But, just the whole park was really, I've never quite seen anything like it.
Yeah.
When y'all told us about it, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But got there and just found out it's a beautiful place full of greenery and trees and certainly playgrounds for the kids, a place to eat and sit and relax as well in the shade, but a lot of wonderful lawns. I don't know. Is that part of the Arkansas River that runs through there?
Absolutely.
Or is that,
yes, sir.
okay?
Yeah.
Because where people are able to kind of pull up, and I noticed one side of it they had kind of built like a beach.
Yes, I know.
And then the other side was just like a dock where you could sit and just relax. And
chill.
There were people out there chilling out and reading and just hanging out. And so we went and we ate some food while we were there, had a couple of good beers, and then just kind of kicked it on the lawn and walked around and enjoyed all the beautiful trees and the foliage. I mean,
I know.
Because there was all kinds of, I think they're cottonwood trees. I think they had some cherry blossoms. It was really pretty. I mean, if you're ever in Tulsa, you got to go hang out at the gathering place for a day and just get yourself a little bit recharged, because it is a nice spot to hang out in.
Absolutely. And you know, it's like a little diamond in the rough in Tulsa. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way they set that thing up is just off the chain.
Yeah, it was super cool. So yeah, we enjoyed that, and then we went and did some shopping at Utica Square, spent a bunch of money, and then went and hung out with dinner at the Waterfront Grill with the Burn.
Yes,
the
Jeff
man himself.
Yeah, yes. Had some dinner with Jeff. You know, and that's part of the reason I really wanted to bring up and have this section as part of our show today to catch up on last week, Tony, is I figured you could take a moment out as you continue to build your business and you're building relationships with the companies you work with. Maybe a few of the things that you, as the FMO guy, you coming to town, you get out of being here. You know, you're coming to a town, right? You're coming to our place to train our guys and establish some relationships. But what does that look like on your perspective? Like, what do you feel like you get out of those visits when you come to town? As an example, you talk about on Sunday night, you go out with Jeff Milburn. You know, that's cool. You know, what actual satisfaction or gain do you feel like you get from that? Or do you know what I'm saying? Am I asking the right question that way?
Yeah, 100%. It allows, I mean, ultimately, honestly, it all comes back to relationships. And that's truthfully what I get out of it. That's that's the greatest reward in my turn, in my perspective, and what warms me up inside. 100% fact. Certainly, it does give me the opportunity to generate more business and make more money and do better.
Yes.
But the greatest reward is the relationships and the opportunity to deepen those relationships more. So I love Jeff Milburn to death. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah.
And so just to get to go hang out with them, and of course we had an argument over who was going to pay the tab, and ultimately I won that decision because his arms are short. He couldn't reach across the table.
Oh,
so it made it easy for me.
Did he do one of those? I got my wallet stuck in my pocket. I got it though. I got my wallet is still stuck in my pocket.
Now he gave a valiant effort, but I tipped the waiter ahead of time, so I'm always going to win that show.
We go.
But that's it. And just in your office the next day, hanging out with your crew, same thing, and just being able to be there and provide them some value that they can use to help, improve anything that they're doing in their business.
Yes.
And I could see that they were very appreciative. Like, it was obvious to me in the attention that they gave me that they were appreciative of the fact that I was there taking time with them.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I always want to express appreciation and gratitude for people like yourself that will take time out, invest with us, come and train and work with our people, And that's one of the things I say. I say, hey, listen, so Tony's coming to town. Listen, even if you got 100 things going on, take some time out. Even if you think you're not going to learn anything, just come, be a part of the group. Help us with the energy, show that we care and we're grateful for them, him coming out. And you know what? You might accidentally learn something. And that, to my point, I just want to say this, as I know the clock ticks and we need to get to our next subject here. But I want you to know that part of the show, now that I'm thinking this through and we're having this, we should have the company feature of the week. Think about it. Every episode, as we're talking about this list of stuff we discuss, maybe there's a featured company of the week where you and I will, today we might talk about Great Western. Well, Great Western might be the featured company again in 7 weeks. It doesn't matter, but it could be this week's featured company. It's a company that you directly work with. And maybe that's something we do as well, because to that point, here you are, you're doing training on sales, and then you start talking about Great Western, some of the benefits, and I got agents now that are excited about it. Right?
Yeah.
We've had the product, but now they're fired up about it because an expert came in and said, hey, I'm your guy. Let me talk about this company. And now you got people gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
You've had multiple now conversations with some of our agents about this product, and I want you to know sales are coming. It's always that way. It's cause and effect. I want to recognize a few people that have commented this morning, and then we'll get on to the next subject, Tony, or have you wrap up on this one. Can you click on that?
Baby.
boss lady right there. Awesome having Grace here. Grace, we had a great time. Good morning to you. Thank you for always supportive and being a fan. And my wife always loves seeing you. And we're just trying to let us know when's our Austin trip. Let's make that happen. And then obviously Jeff Milburn was giving you a shout out, bro, and letting you know how much he loves you. So let's get Jeff Milburn on there real quick. Cool. Look at the hearts. Thanks, Jeff. And Jeff is definitely feeling a little bit better, so we're just praying for him to continue to feel good.
Awesome.
And we love you, brother. Yep. And there's Jerry. Jerry's been a big fan of ours and a consistent fan. Tony, in the short time I spent with you in Memphis, you are an honorable man with integrity. Well, he doesn't really know you. Drive on, brother. Push the limit. I'm not saying this because of the free meal. Okay, well.
Yeah, I work for precision, not integrity.
Right, yeah, buddy. Slow down. Did I say integrity? Is that what I did? Man, I don't know what I was
No,
thinking. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it because the integrity. I got it. Look, how slow am I this morning? Right. Hey, I love Joe, though. Joe, thanks for the nickname, baby. Thanks for the nickname. I appreciate you. Ollie Slaying Sala. That's it. Boom.
Yes.
All right.
Love it.
Anything else you want to discuss about the trip, sir, and all that, or are you ready to move on to the next subject?
Well, you can certainly move on. I mean, I would like to say big shout out to your girl, Ide.
Yes, Ide. Love me some Ide, for sure.
Because she had my back. I didn't even know she was there listening into that meeting. Okay. And as soon as I finish with my whole Great Western thing, she comes around and just starts dealing out contracts to all the agents like a poker player. And I was like, well, where did this all come from? And the next, I thought that was super cool. And I was impressed and very appreciative of that from her. So she's a superstar.
I want to tell you how awesome that is. And I'm so grateful that you recognized Ide for that, because I want you to know no one directed her to do that.
Right. So I know. I didn't say anything to her.
You did it, and I did not.
And I didn't even email her the contract. I emailed her a copy of the app in advance because I wanted her to print that so I could show it off.
Perfect.
But that was it.
Yeah.
I had zero expectations other than that. And the next thing I know, she had a stack of contracts and was just, there y'all go.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Ide. You're a saint. Appreciate you doing that. All right, brother, we're going to roll on. So at this stage of the game, we're a few minutes behind on our initial agenda here. But new insurance news. Be very careful on things you talk about because Nate knows all the truth.
Nate's going to fact check me, huh?
He'll fact check you. And he just, you know what? It's like if you say Dogecoin's at 13.5 and it's at 13.4, that's not correct. So we'll just have to correct you on that. Some of your decisions might be affected by what people are buying and selling. Yes. But all right, sir, let's get into new insurance news. This segment is supposed to have 10 minutes, but today it's going to have approximately 7.5 or 8. Anything you want to discuss in our industry, things that are going on that you and I can hash out a bit or maybe get some questions along the topic?
HR, House Resolution 1868, flew through the House as well as the Senate. However, the Senate they didn't pass the entire request that was made.
Tony, let's get into what that was. I don't remember, sir. Please.
No problem.
What is HR? What did it represent? And what are we talking about?
Yeah. HR obviously stands for House Resolution, and HR 1868 is a bill that was created to stave off the Medicare cuts that were, number one, first round was the 2% cut that the Trump administration created. Right. And that's a 2% cut to all Medicare providers. The second one is a 4% cut that is built into the COVID Relief Act as part of the PAYGO program. If you're not familiar with PAYGO, that's basically just a budgeting rule that's designed to help prevent deficits by paying as you go instead of borrowing money to pay for stuff.
So you use it with current PAYGO?
It's called PAYGO. Yeah, okay. That's been around for a long time, and they put some of that language in the COVID relief bill and the American Rescue Act.
Okay, and you don't think that has anything to do with Faygo, which is a pop I used to drink up in Detroit? No,
definitely not.
Okay, Faygo and Faygo are different. For my Michigan people, you know what Faygo is, and that's red pop that we really love. All right, go ahead. Back to Paygo.
All right, but anyway, so the 2% cuts, good. That one won. That won in both House and Senate. So they're going to hold off on the 2% Medicare cuts until the end of this year. Okay, it's sitting on. It passed in the House and the Senate. Technically, it's sitting on Biden's desk waiting for his signature. I can't imagine he's not going to sign it, but maybe he'll pull an Abraham Lincoln and put it in his pocket and go fishing instead. The second part of that is, again, the 4% cut.
Yes, sir.
And that the Senate did not address at all. And that one is still in play. And we very well may see a 4% cut come to Medicare with the PAYGO deal and the American Rescue Act. So could see that happen. And that's a lot of money. I mean, just the 2% cut is $18 billion.
Yes, I know.
Right?
I know. You know,
and that means that money's still being spent. And we already know Medicare's bleeding. So, I'm torn on the deal because, one, I don't want doctors and providers to lose money. But I also, one of my friends in the industry, Travis Jenkins, who is an agent and works in a DME provider, he's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, DME providers make plenty of money.
Yeah.
They can handle the 2% cut, was pretty much what he said. So he's certainly of the opinion that they should push through these cuts instead of holding them off. But, a lot of the providers are hurting because of the pandemic. Especially when you look at the DME providers, hospices, some of the different hospitals and so forth got hammered, especially in the fourth quarter when all those COVID claims came to fruition. So the idea is like, if we hold off the Medicare payments, it's just going to hurt that side of the industry. So, again, I'm kind of torn on it, but that's where it stands at the moment.
Yep. Crazy. And, you wonder sometimes, when you say a bill sitting on the desk, for any of our leaders in our, state, when there are things that are pressing, you just wonder what type of sense of urgency sometimes, what other motives or agendas there are to slow the process sometimes because it just needs to be slowed down. So it's interesting. Pray that thing. And I guess I'll just, pray for these decisions that are made, that they will benefit those that are truly supposed to benefit and won't harm others by doing so. Just try to plan and prepare the right way. So
absolutely.
You're never going to win everybody when you do these choices and these decisions, but hopefully we'll have some good things happen. I want to give a quick shout out before we move on to the next topic. Mr. Derek Hazelwood, just of all the things we've discussed so far today, this is what he felt like he should go ahead and respond with. Derek, thank you. I want you to know I'm grateful because I don't think Tony could appreciate Faygo if he's never had any. And you know what? I'm all in on peach. I could drink. Dude, take some Faygo peach and take some ice and then take like a clear substance from the liquor store and put that together and taste what that tastes like. You really like some Faygo with some Faygo peach and vodka. You'll like that. Faygo peach and vodka. You'll like that. Okay? So,
isn't that what they call a fuzzy navel?
You know what? Interesting.
Pretty close to it, isn't it?
Yeah. You're right. Tony, we're going to take the next 10 minutes to discuss, kind of you and I gives us an opportunity to kind of discuss our show that we put together, our training that we did, and kind of discuss the training right here in kind of a Cliff Note version. I kind of thought we could sit and do that. First, I want you to know that video was great. It is posted. It is online, and everyone can go ahead and take a look at it. It's on our Strong Life page, and we'd appreciate any of you going ahead taking a look at it. It was triggered. The concept, the idea was triggered by Tony to put together this training video regarding the topic of conversation, which really comes into closing, but it really comes into relationship, but it really talks about long-term business building. I mean, there's so many different ways you could spin the training. But, Tony, I enjoyed doing it with you. What were some of your thoughts when we first did it, when we were talking about doing it on Sunday?
My thoughts were exactly what happened, that we were going to have some fun together and just get a chance to collaborate on some video, let Nathan use some of his skills to splice us together and just have a good time. And if we can put out a little bit of value-based content at the same time, awesome. And, we delivered. So, it's not rocket surgery type training, but it is good fundamental sales stuff that can be applied to anything that you do, whether it's sales or writing or, speaking, right? Running events. You can use that outline and that concept for pretty much anything you want to put together. So
for sure.
It's something that I've used for decades, plural. Since I've been doing it in sales for a long time. And that was something that one of my early mentors taught me, and it's always stuck with me.
Sure.
And I've carried it along the way, and it works great. It's become inherent in what I do when I make conversations with people or when I speak or conduct sales. But I've really learned to adapt it and utilize it in some of my content writing, whether it's articles that I write or whether it's videos that I try to put together, et cetera. So a lot of times I'll use that as just an outline, and then I'll just put the 5 steps down, and then I'll plug in my script language and content and understanding what I'm supposed to be doing in each part of that arc.
Yes, 100%.
And it works.
So, and that's what you guys will get. If you guys go watch the video, which we would appreciate you doing and taking a look at it, I think you'll really be able to receive some good quality information on how to start the conversation, how to start the relationship, and then taking it all the way to the end when you deliver the policy and working towards long-term relationship with the client and referrals and all that kind of fun stuff. And I got to tell you, of the whole video, my personal part, I love the story part, the storytelling part. I know, like in the training, you ended up doing the close section, right? But I love when I was talking about the storyteller, I'm talking about the presentation part. When you're sitting down with the client, first things first, you do the needs assessment. You make sure you figure out what their needs are, not what your wants are. Their needs, not your wants. We got to take our wants out, focus on their needs. That's why it's called a needs assessment for your client, not your needs assessment. Okay. But it's doing the proper needs assessment and then being able to understand that if you're doing an effective needs assessment, part of the presentation is building this story, right? So you're building a story. Here's a person, they retired at 60 some odd years old. They were married. They had X amount of kids, Joe and Betty. Joe and Betty then went ahead and multiplied, and they each had 2 kids. And now I got 4 grandkids, and here's their names. Here's my health coverage. So if I ever get sick, I don't want it to be painful before I die. Now here's cancer. Let me tell you what I know about someone that had cancer. So you're painting this, you're putting together these pieces. And sometimes what's amazing to me, when we're doing the video, and I've had a couple of agents that'll talk to me that watch some of the clips, Tony, and they've said, Ali, it's just funny. Sometimes you think you're doing everything, you're building the right relationship with people, but you're just not asking enough questions, or you're not asking the right questions. We're in such a hurry, and we think that we figured out how people are. We're figuring that actually everyone's story is different for each one of them, which means that every presentation has an outline, but never the same.
Yeah. I love that. And you brought that up in the video, obviously.
Yes,
I love the whole storytelling concept of helping them write the story of the last chapters of their life.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
And
yes.
The great part about that, not only is it poetic, but it gives you a place to hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because it gives you a responsibility and understanding of really what's going on in the grand scheme of things there. And it gives you a position to really put yourself in a place to be held accountable.
Yep.
At least that's my opinion. And I love that concept of the whole deal.
Yep. I got to tell you, I was pumped though. And it was great because I think it went from there in our video. And then I think the next one was closing. Right. Mm-hmm. And that was the scene where you're on the phone. And then you hang up the phone, and then you get right in. Dude, I thought that was great.
I was hanging out in Burns' office.
Yeah, you know what? It's just funny the way your mind just thinks for a moment. Like, I got done talking, and then, there's Tony, and he's wrapping up a conversation real quick. Yeah, he's wrapping up that conversation.
We wanted to have some fun with it, and I thought that was,
Yes.
You did the same thing in the introduction to a certain extent, right? You're there in one of the phone booths and doing your thing.
Yeah.
So, I thought that, let's carry that through.
Yes, I thought it really worked out well. I thought the content worked out super well as well. So anyway, any other piece or another topic you want to really hit on? I mean, obviously, I love the assuming the sale. Again, the other piece that I discussed in the training was the rehash. Yep. People forget, think about this. When you have a relationship with somebody and you're starting a new relationship, and I'm talking about if it's a new friend or someone that you might be interested in dating, what happens initially? You talk to them all the time. You're texting them all the time. There's this dialogue that's always, it's not annoying at first. They text every 17 minutes, but it's never annoying. I'm sure at some point it starts getting annoying. Okay. But what happens initially is there's a lot of dialogue. We miss that. In our business, there needs to be a lot of dialogue with our clients. And when I discussed the rehash, I was discussing the fact that once you're done with meeting with the client and you finish all these things, before you leave, you should do some level of a recap. Here's what we've done today, and here's what our communication moving forward is going to look like so we can help you long term. Okay, great. So we're going to do that. So if I say I'm going to call you next week, you know what that means? I'm going to call you next week. And then I'm going to follow up with you on this and this and this and let you know what happened with this. And walk them through that process and then go back. And then, also be asking for referrals because they have friends, family, church friends, bingo friends, they walk their dog friends, whatever it might be. And they need to also get in front of you, the insurance agent, to move your business to the next level by helping serve them. But it only happens through proper communication and constant updating with the client. So I
Yes.
love the rehash piece.
Yes. You know, a lot of agents, as soon as they get through the close and they get the sale and they get the money, it's out the door
That's right.
quickly. They're, you know, whether it be that
Yep.
they're afraid to say something else that might ruin the sale they just made.
Yep.
You know,
That's
but or
exactly
just,
right.
man, I got to hurry up and get this app turned in before they change their mind.
That's right.
But truthfully, there is one more step, and that is the step that's known as the rehash. Then that is setting expectations for how just like you said, how the relationship goes forward. It's also a place that you can get your referrals. It's a place that you can cross market additional products. You know, it's a place that everybody understands. Hey, this is what just took place, and this is what's going to take place next. And we're both on the same page, and you're in good hands. And I'm going to take care of you as your agent now. Right. That whole process is awesome. But that step is affirmation of the entire deal in the relationship that everybody's in good hands, and it can't be overlooked.
Yep. 100%. 100%. You know, people need to remember, like, it's the way I like to describe it is like a chair. A chair, when you're done selling insurance to somebody, the client has like a leg underneath the chair. And then when you do the rehash with it, before you leave, when you start the summary of what we're going to do and how it's going to work, here's what happens. Another leg it puts under the chair. And it's the legs are set up in a manner where, you know what? I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background. I don't know what that is. Do you hear that, Tony? You hear any
Negative.
background noise? You don't hear
Negative.
That? You heard it there. It's like our internet connection is being merged with another internet connection. Is there a conspiracy going on the State of the Union show?
Parallel universes.
Is this because I called out Bernie Sanders 2 episodes ago? Something happening? You know, fact check that.
Yes.
Okay. Darn it, I forget where I was going.
You were talking about the legs underneath the chair and how the rehash
Okay. So
props
when
up
you
that
do
relationship
right,
with another leg.
Right. So first they bought. Now I'm trying to reassure them so another leg goes. And the legs are set up in a manner where as long as the client doesn't move, they're on the chair. Tomorrow I'm going to call them because I always call them the next day to inform them that I've got everything turned in now and now the journey's begun. That's the third leg. So now the chair's a little more solid because you could sit angle on one side of the chair and it's not going to fall down. But then what's going to happen is when I call them back next week, that's the fourth leg. Now this chair is solid. But guess what? Every time you dial and you speak to that client and you update them on their situation or what is going on, do you know what's just awesome about that? It adds another leg. How solid, Tony, is a chair when it no longer has single unit legs, but a solid unit of wood that's just there holding the chair up? Because
I like it.
But when you continue to invest in the relationship, it solidifies and makes everything seem sturdy. That's what consistency looks like.
Sounds like a Lego chair.
They're a Lego chair. I love that. Yes, I love that. All right.
But yes, you brought up when I call them back and that communication needs to be constant. Dialogue has to be constant.
Yes.
And that brings me back to the 5 M's. More meetings means more money, right?
Yes, sir. I love that line. You know that. I love it. I love it.
You're the one that taught me that one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, sir. Well, Tony, anything else about our video before we go on, sir?
Watch it.
Yes.
And smash
please.
the like button.
And smash the like button. You know, give us honest feedback. Where can we improve and get better? You know what? We'll take everybody's feedback. All criticism will be good criticism on that video. Share it with us. Let us know. All right. Tony, I want to take a few minutes out to just share something a little sensitive and close to our heart, and I figured I'd do it in a kind of a joyful way here. I got involved in the business back in 2009. This will just take a few minutes. I got involved in the business back in 2009. And when I got involved, I started selling insurance. I'm working with Jamie. Well, every once in a while, I would go into a house and meet with somebody and sell them some insurance versus the insurance they had. And then I'd come back to the office, and by the time I already got back to the office, Jamie already received a phone call from some guy from another office that I don't know. And they're just irritated because I sold some business in a house that they had business in. And Jamie brings me in his office one day and goes, hey, man, we got to talk about these policies you sold with Pioneer Financial Group. And I said, yeah, all right, sure. He goes, listen, what we're going to do is we're not going to really focus too much on trying to work business that they have. They called us up, yada, yada. And he's just being real. I said, no, dude, we're better. So we're going to outsell these guys, okay? And I'm better. I'm not worried about these other guys and business they have. I'm going to get the business. And he's like, nah, here's what we're doing with that one. And I'm like, why? Why are you acting this way? He goes, listen, I know this guy. This guy's name is Jason Ford. And him and I used to work together at Bankers Life and Casualty. And when we worked together, we kind of, grew up a little bit in the business. And now he's got an office in town, and so do I. I said, listen, give me the whole moral story, bro. Okay? That's all cool and everything. I want to make money. He goes, yeah, you'll make money, but we'll also respect Jason, and we're going to respect his business. And if there's a way we can help him, maybe we'll do that. Well, years go on, and I'm irritated because I'm not bought in, okay? Years go by, and God gives you opportunities. I see the guy at a football practice one day because now his son plays football, and so does mine. Man, what are the odds, okay? And it makes us cross paths, but I don't want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the other guy, right? But we say hello, and we're cordial. Time continues to move on, and now I think I like the guy. Now, this is really complicated because I feel like maybe I'm cheating on Jamie. Okay? And I shared this in the podcast we did. Okay? I'm cheating on Jamie now. I'm having a beer with Jason Ford, man. I can't be doing that, And, man, more time goes on, and I got to tell you, he became a friend. His wife became a friend, and they're just great people. And his business continued to grow. As a matter of fact, through the years, he's helped our business. I hope in some way we were able to share something with him. We've got an incredible CRM system that we use with Agency Block, as you know. The reason we got Agency Block is he gave out time. Him and his wife, Ginger, pretty much took an entire day out to teach us how to compete with them at the same system they're using. Okay? That's the kind of guy this guy was. He was like, man, I'll help you guys out. His wife, Jamie always said that she was always recognized as Saint Ginger. Everyone knew her always as Saint Ginger. From back in the day, back in 2001, 2002, she's Saint Ginger. And today, more than ever, dude, she's Saint Ginger. Well, anyway, I just wanted to take time out and share just that awesome story and how relationships happen. And then fast forward to a handful of months ago, he does a podcast with us. And what are the odds of Jason Ford doing a podcast with Strong Family and us doing the Strong Life podcast? He had a great attitude. He was positive. He gave a lot of great wisdom on the show. His wife since has done a show, and they're just friends of our business, and we're friends of theirs. Well, last Wednesday, our dear friend Jason is no longer with us now, and he's with God in heaven. And we're just praying for him to be up there with Jesus. And we just continue to pray for his wife and his beautiful children and the legacy he's left behind and the friends he's left behind. Beautiful funeral happened on Monday. And it was just awesome. It was just awesome. Love the man. And you know what? He's where all of us end up. We're in the life insurance business, aren't we? And we sell on this concept. Love this man. I wanted to go ahead and at least take a moment out also to have a moment of silence. I was hoping to take 30 seconds out here just to recognize and respect and take a moment out to pray for Jason and his family. Well, Tony, I appreciate you sharing that and taking time out with us, sir. Love the man, love the family. We pray for the Ford family. Thank you so much for taking that time out and all those that were with us. I'm so grateful. In speaking to Ginger for a few times in the last couple of weeks, every time it's the same thing. Ollie, yeah, you can do something for me. Just pray for me and my family. Just pray for me and my family. So if I could scream one of our favorite guests of all time, she would say, pray for my family. So let's just do that for her. All right, sir. Next topic we're going to go over is here. Let's talk about advantage space. Let's talk about the advantage space a little bit. Not to put you on the spot, But you know what? Let's comment. Let's follow up on some of these comments. That'll be fun, real quick. Chelsea Neal told us to keep it up. Is that about the Fago? Are you still up on the Fago there? Not sure what she meant. All right. And then I love Rondi. The recap can be the art. Man, Rondi, what are you doing not on the show with us? We got to get Rondi on the show. It's done. Rondi, we got to get you on the show. Come on. You're going to drop something like that? All right. And here we go. James Head. Okay. It's super important to rehash and follow through. Easy things to do that sets you apart from others. Great seeing Tony and your beautiful wife. Isn't that so true? Have a great day, guys. Be blessed. Man, how about James Head? Always love with James Head, isn't there? Always love with James Head. But yeah, so when I'm at Advantage Space, I'm not talking about some new announcements or something. I'm just saying more than ever, it's crazy because now I'm getting the emails, about getting ready to certify. Are you getting ready for it?
It's already.
It's all coming.
It gets earlier every year, it seems like, right?
Well, it's fun. It's like Christmas every year. It seems to come faster and faster.
Right.
It's the same thing here. It's the same thing
does.
here.
And that's stimulated by the carriers, right?
Yeah.
Carriers are starting to provide information earlier. So
they are.
I can't say who and what, but I will say there is some carrier info out there in some capacity. Not all of it can be necessarily shared directly. Some of it can be shared at least verbally, but there are some carriers at least planting some seeds right now of a little bit of what they have in store for next year, as far as things like service expansion areas, right? So there are some carriers making some of those announcements of new counties that they will be or expanding their product into. So if you are selling Advantage, or maybe if you're in a county that's adjacent to a county where there is business and you're in the one that's not, you might want to reach out to your guy, be like, hey, just curious, but is any of my Advantage carriers, are they expanding into these counties over here?
Right.
Because there is some of that happening right now, or at least some of that knowledge is getting pilfered out there into the space. No plan details have been released by any means, but we are starting to get some preliminary ideas. And what we do know, which I've said on the show before, Advantage plans are getting the biggest bump in subsidy they've ever gotten.
Right.
If I remember correctly, it's 4.3%. My memory might be failing me, but it is somewhere right in that ballpark, which is a huge amount of money.
Well, again, what was the fact number you were trying to say there? Just so we could fact check it. So what?
4.3. Good luck, Nathan. So
you know what? Here's what's funny. You know what'll be cool? We keep doing this. If we get this thing scrolling right, think about it. It'll become, Stump Nathan. Because what'll happen is he'll go out to correct us in next week's episode and give us an opportunity to say, nah, you were wrong. Let me show you why.
Yeah, absolutely.
That can become another section. It'll be a stump section in the show.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Which it's good because that keeps us on our toes and make sure that we're accountable. But yes, MA plans are getting a huge subsidy. So knowing that, we already know the plans are going to get richer. Like that's a given. But now we're already starting to hear about some of the service expansion areas.
Tony, let me ask you this. What happens? So maybe I'm ignorant and you walk me through this as well. Okay.
Maybe.
I feel like Advantage Spaces, like an Advantage Space, it used to be more where companies had exclusives. Like a market was kind of exclusive to that Advantage plan. I feel like we're getting Advantage plans that are kind of meshing over other Advantage plan spaces, which now takes away in my mind. So, educate me a little bit on the other way to look at it here, but it takes away some of the exclusivity. I thought this plan had this setup over here. But now, Community Care is the St. Francis brand, but St. Francis also takes X, Y, and Z. It used to be all or nothing when it came to the Advantage space.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what does that look like for the future of the Advantage plans? Because I thought that's what's kind of separated them too, is they had exclusivity at some level.
The only exclusivity they have would come in terms of networks.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, and maybe one plan is just a better negotiator with that network, or maybe that network's a better negotiator to get an Advantage plan to finally take them to expand, right? So that's the whole thing. So it gets you'll find there's more quote unquote exclusivity in the more rural areas or the more outlying areas because the networks are smaller, right?
Yep.
So there may be a very small network, so it can really only support one plan probably, and or maybe one plan or one carrier thinks, hey, look, we'll go out there and at least try to get that outlying network because that helps us grow our territory. So we'll reach a little further, kind of thing.
100. Yep.
So in the bigger metro areas where networks are everywhere in some form, there's this network or that one, or there's just that much bigger a population, it's going to support where these networks are going to have contracts with Humana, with United Healthcare, with Aetna, with Devoted or whoever it might be.
Right.
So that's where that kind of comes into play. So I mean, the only time it's not so much that exclusive where a carrier owns a physiographical territory. It might be the only one that has a contract with the specific network that's in that area currently. And it's could be a variety of reasons. Could be maybe the sales guy that helps get networks and contracts done is just not that aggressive, or maybe they just don't feel like they can get enough membership in that area to bother spending the money to get out there, if that makes sense.
Yep. Sure. Yeah. I totally do. That's interesting, Okay. I don't know. I was talking with an agent. Samuel Tremere and I went to dinner yesterday.
Yeah.
And love Samuel Tremere. He's been with us, over 5 years. He's a beast. Love him. And, we were just talking about the advantage space. And we had the conversation about just how they're expanding and the opportunities that are being created. But also we talked about how it's just becoming more and more creative, where he even believes. He goes, man, there's going to be a time, states that have legalized marijuana for medical uses, you'll see advantage clients are going to get an expense budget for it. They're going to get an expense budget.
That's probably very true.
Or
or it'll pop up on the formulary at minimum.
Yep.
Just a matter of time.
I think it's a matter of time. And you're going to see, I think what you will see is drug use will also be decreased. And I think those that utilize marijuana for medical use, you will see that less and less people will be using some of the prescription drugs they were taking, and you will see an evolution there happen too.
I would agree with that.
I think.
I would agree with that. There's been articles written about that as medical marijuana has expanded, they're seeing some opiate dependencies come down.
Yep.
I mean, the opiate pandemic is still real. It's still out there. It's still nasty, but it has reduced. And that's also true with the guy with one of my friends that I referred to y'all about. I think I referred to y'all to maybe 3 years ago. One of my friends, and I think James Head was the guy that took care of him. But he's an older fella that has a lot of chronic pain, and he has been complaining to me for years as I've known him and worked with him. Of his struggle with opioid use.
Wow.
And then finally one day I'm chatting with him we probably had a beautiful hour-long conversation. And he was finally like, hey, Tony, look, man, I'm sorry. It's been great talking to you. I know you're busy, but I got to go get some Gorilla Glue. And me being naive, I'm like, oh, what, you got some kind of woodworking project going on? He's like, no, man, that's the legit stuff at the medical marijuana pharmacy. He's like, I'm no longer on the opiates. I got to go pick up my prescription. I was like, oh. Well, he's like, dude, it's done wonders for me. He's like, I don't deal with the pain that I used to deal with as much. He's like, more importantly, I'm not on the opiates that I used to be on.
Man, wonderful.
Because he had gotten to the point where the doctors were like, dude, I'm sorry, but I can't refill this again. Like it's out of control, brother. It's like you got to get off this stuff. And then finally Oklahoma passed the bill that allowed medical marijuana in. He went and got him a card. And now he's not hopped up or hooked on opiates.
Right.
So, So yeah, I agree with Sam's statement 100%. Yeah. We will eventually see some of these dispensaries start to get included in the MA plan networks.
Right.
There'll
be some regulatory rules that they'll have to do that make them special.
Of course.
Not everyone will be able to do it. You'll have to follow by some certain controlled rules. But again, I love the idea because again, I always make the argument, not trying to campaign to say I'm, pro marijuana, even though, I'm not against it. That's for sure. Okay. But I guess the point I'm going to make is I think what I'm excited about, Tony, is I never really believed that marijuana is a drug in the first place. Again, I'm not trying to get in a debate with anybody, okay? But I'm just making the point that I believe if it was really a drug and we knew it was a drug, it'd be sold in a pharmacy counter. Because I assure you, I know Johnson & Johnson's having some COVID issues right now, but Johnson & Johnson would be all over the marijuana prescription drug plan.
Oh, absolutely.
Pfizer would be all over the marijuana prescription program. They're all over it already. They wish they could have it, but it doesn't really align with the definition of drugs. So then you got this fine line that you live in. It's not nutritional products, but it does come from the ground. So they struggle with it. It has incredible rewards, and at the same time, like anything that could be a stimulus or manipulate the mind at all, too much is bad. Too much of anything is bad. So
Agreed.
let's just remember that principle, God. Hey, look at that. Put Rondi up there. Look at that, dude. On the bottom there. Give us some Rondi down there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Tidewater's Rookie of the Year. Well, that's, if any other reason to get you on the show, that should be it. Love
Absolutely.
it. Congratulations. And it's crazy. I don't even care what anybody says about you, Rondi. I think you're great, too. No. But let's sincerely get her on.
I'm surprised to hear she was a rookie. I thought she was a veteran.
All right, well, let's get her on the show next week. Here's what we'll do. Nathan, let's try to connect up with Rondi for next week. And we'll get the new program. So she'll be the first guest that we can have on during our slotted time. And we could try to make that work, Tony, if she's open to it next week.
She's over here laughing at us now.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be great. And then she'll be able to practice with us and see how we can make that work for next week. I think that'd be a lot of fun, right?
Bring it on.
Yeah, buddy, I love it. Tony, yesterday Nathan and I recorded a video, and in the video we talked about investing in yourself as one of the key components to really smart investing, long-term on what you're trying to do for your future, what you do with money, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of training video we put together. But one of the core topics of it was investing in yourself. When I say that, I say, Tony, we need you to focus on, now that you're building your insurance business, man, we need you to focus on investing in yourself. What are some of the things you think of when I say that? All right, Ali says invest in yourself. I'm a new guy. What does that mean to you, do you think?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is when I think specifically of the word invest is money. Investing in yourself monetarily.
Yep.
But it doesn't have to be limited there. That doesn't mean that you have to go buy the expensive training course or go to the expensive events, right? Or do that. And I'm not saying those are bad, but that doesn't mean that investing in yourself specifically is limited to that. Investing in yourself could be sitting down and reading for an hour a day in something that's going to help you grow your business. Investing in yourself could be setting time aside to develop new skills in any form or fashion that you can use to elevate your business or just elevate yourself, right? Something to learn about, whatever it is.
Yes.
Investing in yourself could be taking the time to go to the gym to bust your butt, to keep yourself in better physical and mental health. That is not only going to help you just perform better, but that's also going to rub off on your business. So investing in yourself comes in a lot of forms.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't just mean, I got to go spend money on myself. No, it does mean you need to spend time and energy and very possibly money or some combination of all three.
Sure.
Right. There is because investing in yourself does come with some form of sacrifice, whether you're sacrificing money, time, or energy, or again, a combination of all three. Yep. So
I love it.
You know our buddy Joshua Lustig, right?
Yes, of course.
So we're at Memphis Con, or Medicare Con in Memphis, and it gets announced and found out that that 24-year-old insurance agent, phenomenal kid that he is, invested in himself to the tune of $120,000.
Yep, I remember. That's a little serious.
Talk about someone that's bought in to investing in yourself for growth.
Right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because I want to make this point. And I know I'm probably upset some people, but it's okay because I'm just talking about the reality of the way it works. I put out a video of how I made $100,000 in a short amount of time in less than a year, my first year in the business, right? Other guys have done that, and that's great. And I keep reminding people when people say, well, how many other guys have done it since you've done it and all the, locally, just in our office or whatever. And I know it sounds arrogant when I say nobody, right? I mean, it just sounds arrogant. But here's what people miss. People hear the story is Ali made this, or Cody's got his video, right? Cody in 6 months, made more money than the Pope, or whatever the case might be, right? I get it. I get all that, but that's not true. It's not true that Ali just made $100,000 in 9 months. What people don't remember, because they're not me, is that for 11 years of my life, I worked for a sales company. And since I sucked then, okay, and I was learning how to make some sales, and I was learning, and every day I continue to learn to get better. And then I get turned from that company. I take a job at Pet Boys. I'm not trying to, make everyone, feel sorry for me. The reason I took that was me on deck. I'm still looking now because I got this sales skill thing, I think, down, but I'm broke. I made a lot of poor choices, and I got this job at Pet Boys. And then I meet Jamie. And then Jamie says, hey, I got something for you. You probably need to just keep focusing on Jesus, bro. Okay, that's where I met. It was at church. Okay, but then, he brought a vehicle. He brought an opportunity. He said, hey, Ali, I think I got a vehicle right here. Sit behind the steering wheel. Let me show you how this thing works. You got some skill sets. I'm going to manage your focus over here, and then watch the good thing. I was trying to do focus you over here, and then good things are going to happen. So what Jamie did, right, is he took a guy that had 11, 12 years of sales background experience in sales, saw some of my talent, right, and then figured out how to navigate me. And then like a top, he let me go, right? But it wasn't just I got involved in the insurance business. I spent 2 weeks with Jamie, and here I am today. No, I needed focus. I needed direction. I needed the vehicle. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. But everyone needs to remember that there's that. Cody's second generation, man. It's in his blood. His father did something to that kid early on that made him a little bit different.
Yeah.
That separates him, man, right? That makes him great at a whole nother level in a different way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't disrespect his work, doesn't disrespect his achievements, but also people need to remember that was a seed that also had been planted. It didn't happen over,
Right.
Justin Brock isn't a beast because he woke up one day and decided to be a beast. That's not how it works. Christian Brindle doesn't have the following that he has because one day he said, hey, I'm just going to start a podcast. No, that's not how it works. Everywhere you turn, that guy's there, and he's from freaking Utah, okay? But he's a beast at what he does, right? I mean, he's the bottom line, okay? But that's what I'm talking about, So it's
planting seeds and watching them grow and putting water on them, cultivating them. Yeah. All of these guys have invested in themselves.
So
right?
much.
In different ways. And had people that invested in them too.
Yes.
It's 100% correct.
And when I was in another company and I was learning in my 20s how to sell, that was me also investing in me.
Right.
I went to a bunch of training seminars. I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan and always have been. I love John Maxwell. I love these guys. I know we got all the new generation that's out, and in my mind, they're all just copycats of the Brian Tracy's of the world, the Zig Ziglars of the world. That's all they are. No disrespect. But it ain't like they're teaching anything new.
Right.
Are
there really any more original ideas in sales?
No, there's not.
It's just new mediums to say the same message.
Yeah. Yes.
Work hard, build good relationships, learn to communicate, set your goals, go after them.
100.
That's
100.
I mean, that's what they've been cultivating in us for years.
Always. That's exactly right. I guess that's the thing. Like I love my son, right? Because my son's transparent. He's my son. He's 17. He's already said, hey, Dad, look, when I get done, when I graduate and I'm 18, I'm going to make sure that I do better than you, my first year. I love it. I get emotional thinking about it. And that would be so freaking awesome.
Of course.
But I'm like, listen, bro. I'm trying to get you to pay some of your bills. Just like practice, just practice. And he is. I'm proud of him. He's taking care of his own responsibilities now, so I'm holding him accountable to that. But he knows his dad's going to buy his jacket, his dad's going to buy his new shoes, but stuff that he just wants to go do. He's not asking his dad anymore, right? So we're navigating. We're doing, but it's like he can't understand that when I got involved in the insurance business, that would be like Alexander when he turns 18 and he never makes a mistake. He'll have to be 30 to have the sales years of experience that I had when I got involved with Jamie at 36. Just talking about my timeline.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot
It
of
is.
meetings, a lot of trainings, a lot of note taking, a lot of feeling sorry for yourself, a lot of this
lot of
shit's not gonna
rejection.
happen.
Yeah.
Yes, over and over again for years, man. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. And I get some of these agents that quit when they work with us. They think the grass is greener. Bro, you haven't worked for 6 months. Where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me? I'm getting a better contract. No, you're not. You're not, bro. It's not going to happen like that. Stop. You know? God,
Yes.
it's insane.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Insane. All right.
You have
Hey, I
to
wanna
put in
give
the grind and work it out for a while.
You do. Hey, can we get Ronnie right there? I want to make mention of that because I'm fired up about that.
Yes.
Yes. We're fired up, Ronnie. We will follow up with you. It'll be next Thursday. It's also cool. We'll get the new lineup set up. We're grateful. We'll reach out to you. And then how about this rock star right over here? People trust people who take care of themselves. That's so true. Love it.
I wish you could have been in our meeting because I did pick on her a little bit because she was a prime example of someone that is obviously bought into the process and the system.
Yes, sir.
And is exercising it to a T.
Man,
right?
Clinic.
When
Yes,
I was
sir.
talking, because I spent some time in your office, walking around
Yeah.
listening mostly to the new guys or newer,
Sure.
and listening
Yep.
in on them and hear how they were calling to set appointments and just
Yeah.
seeing who was winging it,
Yeah.
right? Or who was still fumbling through the process, or who was maybe ignoring the process, thinking maybe they can do it better,
Yep.
and who was obviously sticking to the process.
Right.
And Erica was one of the people that was sticking to the process.
I know.
Bam, she had it down.
I know.
And I was listening to her set appointments. I'm like, pro, like just solid textbook pro. And I brought it up because whether she knew it or not, she was hitting those 5 steps that we talked about in her
Beautiful.
appointment setting perfectly.
Yep.
Right? She introduced herself. She gave the reason why she called, qualified her prospect, presented the reason why she's calling or why she's out in the neighborhood, right? Helping people with their Medicare options and their retirement benefits, et cetera. Medicare review, I think is what they were calling it. Closed with an appointment time, right? And it wasn't like, hey, is it okay if I come by? She was like, look, I'm going to be out there. I got Tuesday and Thursday. Pick one. Thursday. All right. I got morning and afternoon. Pick one. Afternoon. 1 or 3. Pick one. 3. All right. I'll see you at 3. Adios. And I was like, this girl's gold.
Yeah.
So that was super cool to see.
Hey, buddy, as we're doing that, I just got to say, you know what's cool about Erica is she is the first person that I think had come on board with our company that had seen any of our content and the podcast and started viewing it before she came on board. Okay.
Oh, very cool.
Before she met me, she had been connected to some of the content. So
Right on.
already, you know, that just fires me up because I'm trying to do good. I try to do this to help and share things with people. It's also probably good for my ego, but also what it's good for is I'm trying to recruit and I want to bring people on and I want to be able to help share and train and teach the things we talk about with them to help change their life. And this one, Erica allows us to do that. You know, her life, you know, when I say her life's getting better, I just say on a business perspective, her life's getting better. Her financial perspective is just getting better. And she's just making these solid decisions, these moves. Again, when your wife was in town, who did I tell you I want her to spend time with?
Erica.
This rock star right here.
Absolutely.
So love her,
And,
love her.
You know, and not only was she just really good at following, I mean, she had a level of indifference in her in talking to these people on the phone that you could tell that she was providing value and was doing well in the business.
100%. Yep.
Like it wasn't an attitude. Like
Nope.
I think a lot of people get attitude and indifference mixed up.
Yep.
Indifference
That's right.
means, look, I don't need your business. I would value it because whether you're my client or not, it's not going to affect me. I'm still going to win. Right. So you don't come out with an air of
She's got that
desperation.
energy. It transfers over the phone.
100%.
Yep. That's perfect. Yep. Well, I'd like to start the next segment that we've never done before. This is where we introduce onto the show Mr. Nathan Elkind. And what we'll do is we'll always have a 2 to 3 minute portion of the show where he jumps on and gives us correction facts or maybe some things to think about based on what we discussed here to challenge the show and to find ways where we made mistakes. And it'll keep us on our and then you guys will see how incredible and consistent our content always is. And we also thought this was cool because no one else does it. So there we go.
Yeah,
Cool
absolutely.
Nathan,
well,
there we
Facebook likes
go.
to fact
There we
check
go.
people, but
Yes, that's true. We got to get rid of this. Is that better? I'll hold it like that.
No, you're good. We're gonna hear that echo though.
So should we turn my mic? Do we turn my headphone off or my mic off while you're talking? We'll just turn it on.
Sure.
Will that help?
I mean, you can just like ignore it as much as possible.
Okay,
And
perfect.
just try to listen to Tony. But yeah, so the first thing is Joe Biden actually did just sign that bill, so they're gonna postpone that for all the Medicare.
So what? So to be clear, are we saying that Tony said the bill had not been signed, but you're letting us know that it actually has?
Well, it was at like 8:20 or something that he said that, and as of like 8:15, he had signed it. So
Ooh.
I just looked up.
well, I'm on the show. I can't be checking the news while I'm on the show. That's your job.
Right. So why don't you just thank him instead of being so upset for giving the wrong information?
I actually looked it up this morning. That was one of my first things because I knew it had reached that stage. So before we got on the show this morning, I was up early researching to see, has he signed it yet? Has he signed it yet? Because I know Nathan's going to come behind me and hammer me if I say something. But that's cool. So we know that he signed it. Awesome. Thank you, Nathan.
So yeah, no, we're right there, and then and Doge is at 13.2. So
Well, there we go. Doge is at 13 too. Well, that's important. Buddy, I'm making a killing on this thing. You know, hey, I just want to be clear. Everybody's laughing at me with Doge. I just want everyone to realize if you invested $1,000 in Bitcoin 10 years ago, I guess today it's like 146,000, right? 146,000.
Doge is no Bitcoin,
it
man.
was like pennies in 2012, 2013.
Bitcoin was pennies in 2012 and 2013.
Like 50.
Yes, it was.
So, I just want
Dogecoin
everyone to
is
know.
no Bitcoin.
Because I still talk to everybody. Because listen, when I get really big because of Dogecoin, I'm not going to be available to talk to people. It was at 4
Well, hopefully
cents
you'll be
when
able to
I-
buy
it's
a
at-
better microphone system at least.
Okay, well, that's it. Done. We're talking about this. Anything else, Nate?
I think that's it.
Hey, thanks for being on the show. I think this is fun. I think this will work, and we'll keep doing it. Look at Tony. Tony can't even believe. So, awesome. Anything else from you, Nate? I appreciate you being on the show, brother. Thank you. Hey, guys, I'll just take a minute out and just also thank Nathan. At 2:30 in the morning, I'm getting text messages from him today or this morning. At 2:30. All right, I got it all set up. This is how our podcast is going to look. Here we go. Coming in here at 8:05. Screw it. We ain't doing any of the stuff I worked on. We're going back to the way it was.
Screw, we'll do it live.
Yeah,
The hell with it.
That's what I know that's frustrating, and we're grateful for you, and we know that you want to get this, and I think we are definitely creating a product that's going to be different that we're doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Eric, also, thank you so much for the kind words. You're awesome as well. Thanks for being a fan and always being supportive to us as you continue to grow and have success in your life. Anything else here from you before the big finish?
No, I'm kind of excited to see the big finish now. It's been built up so great.
Well, I just want to begin by saying, here's the big finish. That's it.
It's really great to be here. Thank you.
Well, the reason why it's called the big finish is because I called it the big finish. But
I saw it on your transparent whiteboard
Yes.
window
Yes.
schematic thing you have going on.
That's
You
the
know,
big finish.
I was actually surprised. There's some intelligent stuff on there. I've known you for a while. I assumed that if you were going to put anything on there, it would be stick figures and race cars.
Okay.
But you actually had like some numbers and some lessons on there.
Yes, I did. I tried looking a little professional. Well, I want you to know, as a big finish, I want to tell you thank you, Tony, for being on. Thanks for last week. Thanks for your business partnership, and thanks for your friendship. Nathan, neither Tony or I would have had any of this content out if it weren't for you helping us here. And that video you did would never obviously happen. Thank you for your hard work and consistency. I'm excited to get you now on the show as a participant where we'll definitely be able to hang out together. Good times. Thank you, Ryan Nolan. Great show today, fellas. Appreciate you, sir. He's always been a fan. Loved your energy too, buddy, and your support. Consistent. I hope you're having nothing but great success in the insurance business. Thank you guys for all tuning in. We will have some cool big finish things. Like maybe I need to throw something in the air, and then you catch it. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously. Right? Like I throw it.
You should
Like, I
shoot
throw
some
it this
fireworks
way.
in the office. That would be
Yeah.
pretty good.
But
That
look,
would be a
think
big
about it.
finish.
A little heart thing.
Yeah, like maybe I throw a heart thing.
No, you put your hand up. So,
Oh, look. Oh, we could do that. Yeah, like hang on. Here's the heart,
so put it
and then
over
we try to connect hearts or something, right? So.
I can't. I have to do everything backwards. It's so strange.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow, that's super cool. But like, think I could like for the big finish, I could throw a paper. No, I could throw a paper, and you could go and catch it. And there's the.
If you could do the transporting man like they did in the movie The Prestige, now that
Great movie.
Solid.
is a
Beam
big
me up,
finish.
Scotty, big time. That's some serious
Yes.
beam me up, Scotty. Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Man's
well, thank you all for tuning
grasp
in.
exceeds his reach.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I just want to wrap up, say thank you guys for taking time out. Thank you for tuning in today. Please tune in every Tuesday as we always release a new podcast video as we have a training coming out. And every Thursday, State of the Union with Mr. Tony Merwin from Precision Senior Marketing. Next week, we're going to have Rondi Goodman on the show, who's the Tidewaters Rookie of the Year. She's out in Raleigh, North Carolina. Also a neighboring agent to our agent, Adam Gillisich, who's also out there in Raleigh, North Carolina, as we have an office there as well. And I guess that's about it. Tony, thanks so much. Nathan, so much. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Awesome.